So I can either manipulate you to think of something or take the thought from your head.
Yeah.
So it was 30 girls doing crazy stuff.
And then you, who
yeah.
was like shocking everyone.
I was 9 when I started performing, and I was 12 after Israel's Got Talent.
Hi, I'm Cece Walk9 with the Maritime Paradox podcast, sitting here with Nevo, the youngest mentalist in the world. Nevo, please introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself.
So I'm Nevo, I'm 20 years old. I'm the youngest mentalist in the world. I started my career at the age of something around the age of 9. When I was 12, I've been the finalist of Israel's Got Talent, the first season. Since then, I'm performing all over the world. I had a big residency in Dubai. I was living there. Now I'm serving in the IDF as the first mentalist in the IDF.
Wow.
Yeah, finishing it in October and planning to move to the US to start my career overseas.
Is there a discrepancy between having like a mentalist in the IDF? Is there like things that kind of like you have to keep a secret? You know,
I cannot talk a lot about it.
Yeah, so I figured that.
Yeah.
That must be so crazy for them. Well, just so that we can get it out of the way, if people want to book you for a show, where can they find you?
So most of the shows I'm doing are corporate events. They can find me on social media, on my Instagram, on my website, TikTok, whatever.
What is your Instagram?
So it's Nevo, like at Nevo the Mentalist, and that's it.
Amazing, I
Yeah.
love it. I'm gonna book you for my daughter's bat mitzvah first. So I've met you previously. You've always been very interesting to me. I have so many questions about you, as a person. Obviously, this is not magic tricks. This is not, something that, abracadabra. This is something that you've worked on as a child, right?
Yes.
So how old were you when you first noticed that you were able to do certain things?
So it was around the age of 6 or 7. I was always kind of a weird kid. I was telling my father to take a ring and hide it in one of his hands, and I was always trying to guess where is it. At first I got it wrong, but then I started to understand that the human brain has like a pattern, that if I'll be able to understand what is it, I can make sure to know not really what you think, but how you think. So I can either manipulate you to think of something or take the thought from your head. So I was just like doing it again and again, walking on street, going to school, asking 100 people to give me, like to name out any color. And I was writing. So 50 people said blue, 40 said red, and I was trying to like understand the human brain and how people think. Then I mastered it, and I got like so better at it. And reading about mind reading, about NLP, about suggestion, hypnosis, body language reading, focusing really hard on it. And just figure out my way to mentalism.
So how old were you first of all?
So I was between 6 to 7 when I got like interested about mentalism. I was 9 when I started performing, and I was 12 after Israel's Got Talent.
And did your family encourage you? Because you were very young.
So at start, they didn't really think it's serious. It's like just a normal kid. For them it was magic. I was very curious about many things, asking so many questions. So they said, okay, it's a hobby. Then at the age of 12, and I told them, okay, so I want to be in Israel's Got Talent. They said, no, we are a very simple family from north of Israel. That's like going into Tel Aviv, going to the studios, being like in television, being famous. That was a little bit too wild for them. So they didn't like it. I faked their signatures to get inside.
Wow.
Yeah, the auditions. And I was driving like the train to get to Tel Aviv to do the auditions. And just after I got in the show, I told them, okay, so I'm in the show. Do you want to come with me or not? And they came for the show. I've been the finalist of it, so made it to the finals. And after that, they really understand it's not just a hobby, it's a business. And they started to really support me. Today, they were like, I'm flying something around 20 times a year to perform overseas, and most of my flights and tours, my father joined me, and just having a good time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So who were you up against when you
What do you mean?
were on Israel's Got Talent? What act
It was
was
like
up against you?
a dancing act with 30, like acrobatica thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was 30 girls doing crazy stuff.
And then you, who
yeah.
was like shocking everyone.
Yeah, I was a little kid who just achieved like a girl voice, but yeah,
Wow,
they loved
that's
it.
amazing. I actually didn't know that. So you have so many, what's your favorite, like what do you really love to do that every time you do, I don't want to call it a trick, every time you do
An effect, an experience, an experiment.
Every time you do an experiment with somebody that you find, do you find things that you're doing wrong? Like, is there ever a moment that you're saying like, oh, I've improved, like I'm improving as I'm doing it?
So, first of all, yeah, there's sometimes that I get things wrong because it's not a trick and it's not a superpower. I can get some things wrong if I'm not focused, if the like person in front of me don't really want to give me the details and not really thinking of it or trying to trick me. So sometimes I can get wrong, but like because I'm professional and I worked so many years and so many, like I'm very into it and I learned a lot about it. So basically, even if I'm getting something wrong, I can manipulate you to change the act and you won't even notice it. So it's like a movie, you don't know the end of it. So I can just change the way to make sure that you won't be able to understand. And if I'm asking other questions, it can help me to get the first thing I got wrong. For example, if I'll tell you to think of a name and I'm not getting it, I'll tell you, okay, say the name out loud. You'll say the name and say, okay, think that you're flying with him or with her to a country and just imagine the country. And I'll just do another trick.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it is, so you have exercises that you do to help improve your mindset.
Yes.
When you walk in and you're going to sit with somebody and you're going to do this, where do you have to go to take your mind to zero? Like you have to get out all the clutter from outside. Obviously you can't be thinking of anything else. How do you like reset yourself to like get to that? Do you have to work hard to
So I
empty
do
it?
have to work hard, but for me it's not getting to zero and then starting the act itself. For me it's always being on 1,000 and just focusing on the right person. So I'm here inside that room and I'm analyzing every little movement, every little like body language, facial expression that you're doing. So I'm analyzing everything, trying to understand why you're doing it. And then, like, let's say I've analyzed the whole room and I'm saying, okay, I want to do something with you. Think of a name, think of anything that I want to get. So basically that's how I do it. I never stop, I never go to zero, only when I'm like with my family and with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Just like always being inside that mood. So it's a bless, but it's a curse also because you're always trying to think, why did he say it? Is he lying? Is he saying the truth? So it's always about that.
Yeah, you must be thinking all the time.
Yeah, I'm an
Sounds like me.
overthinker.
When you look at people, do you ever say like, you're sitting at a dinner table maybe you don't know the people. Do you know that person's upset about something or
100%, yes.
But you can't tell what they're upset about?
I can tell what they're upset about if I ask them a few questions. Again, as I said, it's not like a superpower. I'm not getting inside your head and just seeing a picture of it. I'm asking you some questions and I'm telling you, for example, to write it or to imagine it in a different way that I'll start to get those tells, that information from you. So basically I can understand he's feeling sad, he's upset about something, and then I can tell him, okay, so I want you to write a name, and obviously that name will be connected to whatever happened, and I'll just get the whole situation guessing it.
I'm still in shock because you're telling me that it's so simple and I'm like, okay, I can go home and do this too.
It's not that simple.
The way I watched you, I've seen what you do and it's not simple. And you've gotten people, like I saw you with Papi. You said to him to look up all these Wikipedia, on Wikipedia, pick a subject, write them down, and then the fifth letter on each word equaled to
the name of the person.
My mother-in-law,
yeah.
Ricky, and I just don't understand how you can manipulate somebody to choose something on the internet.
So that's something very complicated to do, doing these kind of things. That's why I'm performing, that's why I'm a mentalist. That's like a decade of working hard. But it starts for something very simple that I can teach you and teach everybody that see us and watch us right now. For example, if I'm talking to someone, it can be a date, it can be an interview, it can be whatever you want, it can be a deal that you want to sell. So if you're talking with someone and you nod your head while you're saying something, the other person will be more likely to agree with you. So it's something that can help you manipulate him or her to agree with you. For example, if you sit like that, I'll imitate exactly the same way that you sit, because people that have things in common. If you're someone that says like a lot, I'll use the same vocabulary to make you feel comfortable with me. So it's like a lot of psychological techniques that can help a lot of people in the everyday to just be better, to use more of your brain. But doing these kind of complicated things that I'm doing, those experiments, those acts, it takes a lot of time to work on it.
Yeah, you have impressed everybody in my house. My kids, they haven't stopped talking about you.
Thank you.
You are one of the most interesting people that I've met, because I don't know anything that goes on in your brain, but I think it's really cool.
Sometimes it's too much. I do not recommend to get a sample brain.
No, I remember actually, it was so funny. It stuck in my head the first time that I met you. And I was sitting there, and then I just remember I was like upset about something, and I came and I was just very happy because I know how to like turn things off, and you're just like, stop thinking so much. Everything's gonna be okay. I was like, get out of my head. And it's just so funny to me that, you know, like you can just read people like that. And you, like most people, can stop and really switch off emotions, but you can read through that. What is something that you have done that you made a mistake?
What do you mean? Did I got something wrong or made a mistake during my career? Like
starting off that you worked really hard and then somebody blocked you. Like, is this something that they did?
I don't think. I think that I'm always getting it right. And if I'm not getting the same thing, like the thing I wanted at the first point, I'm just like changing things up and getting the other thing, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm never really getting it wrong. You know, I'm
like
performing
layers.
For companies all over the world, doing TV all over the world. I can't do mistakes.
And everyone's so impressed.
Yeah, everyone loves it.
Does it give you a lot of like adrenaline when people are just like...
Yes, that's what I'm doing. Basically, it's not trying to fool people. I'm not trying to be the smartest person in the room. I'm just trying to make people feel good, be impressed, be blown away, think about not just like to think outside of the box.
Yeah.
So if I'll do something for you, you'll think, wait, how did he manage to predict it? Is what I'm doing in the everyday, can someone predict it? So I have to watch what I'm thinking of, or you'll think about, wait, I need to learn some psychological techniques. I need to learn about body language reading because it will help me to sell that deal. It will help me to whatever you want to do, whatever you want to achieve. You can use those psychological techniques to make you being better person.
So basically what you're telling me is that there's way more to the human brain
100%
than we have understood, and you have been able to master how the brain psychologically works, and we can all figure out how to do that in a different way than everybody else, because most people are just generally following a trend.
Yes, but not anyone can be a mentalist. So about that, you can learn how to manipulate someone, how to convey a message better, how to like get comfortable with someone first time you meet. But it's like soccer. I'd be able to, I don't know, to kick the ball, but I won't be able to do it like Messi. So you'll be able to learn those psychological techniques, but combining everything with the performance, with the confidence that you need to stand up on stage performing for 3,000 people, 1,000 people, doesn't matter. That's something very rare.
That's amazing. What's your favorite performance that you've done so far?
Favorite performance? I really loved my performance at the Today Show. It was really good. I loved the reaction over there. But I think, I did a residency when I was 17 in Dubai, so I used to live there for like almost 4 months, living there, performing each weekend 4 shows. Each show was 600 people. It was like sold out each weekend.
Wow.
It was very intense, but I loved that show. It was created about my story, so it was an hour and 15 minutes long, but the whole show was my story, starting at the age of 9, going to school, and then, for example, if I'm talking about school, I'm doing something about, think about someone from the school you remember that you didn't see for a long time, and I'm giving you like a mathematic thing to calculate, and I'm doing the calculator faster than you can do it. So every chapter in my life had an effect. For example, at the age of 16, so I guess someone's first kiss. Always doing it. And then I talked about memory, so that was my favorite act that I've ever did. And we took like a kind of a, you know what a ball rocket is? That you shoot it to the crowd. So we shoot 20 big like sponge balls to the crowd and to random people. And then I told everyone to stand up. And I told them, okay, say your name out loud on my 3, 1, 2, 3. And then 20 people shout their name. And after one time they did it, I managed to remember and to recognize each one of their names, 20 random people on stage. That was in the audience.
Wow.
That's my favorite act. So I'm really working hard even about memory and mathematical techniques.
Yeah, that's like photographic memory.
Yeah, it's not photographic memory, it's another kind of memory, something that I invented, but yeah.
I'm intrigued by the skill that you have to tap into the parts of the brain that we have, yet to tap into. Our brain, we use which front? Left side? Which one do we use on a daily basis automatically?
It's not about the side, just understanding and thinking differently. There's a thing, have you seen the show Prison Break?
Yeah, actually I really like that show.
So Michael Scofield, the thing he has, actually I have it also, it's called low latent inefficient.
Okay.
They found out that I have it at the age of 14. And basically it's seeing things from a different perspective. If you will see, I don't know, that watch, you'll look about the color, look about the material, look about the numbers. I will look about other things. I will see the shape, I will think about what's inside, I'll see why it's like here, not here. I will think about the balance between all of the parts in it. So basically everything that you look at, our brains can separate from what's important and what's not important. Mine does not do that kind of separation. So just getting all of the information, same as I'm looking to you, I'm thinking, why do you see it like that? Why is she looking that way? Why is she not talking? Why did she choose to say that word instead of that word? Word has connotation, like there's emotions into it. So that helps me to understand if someone is upset or someone is happy. So basically just thinking of things and looking at people in a different perspective.
And can you tell if somebody has, if somebody thinks like you? Like, have you ever met somebody who is a mentalist and you guys like dueled each other?
They always it's a joke between us, the mentalists. So there's a convention each year. We are flying to London to do a convention over there. And it's like, there's a joke. People always interview me about that big convention. It's almost 2,000 people, mentalists, that just sit there and we are not talking. We're just communicating with our heads.
Way.
No, that's the joke.
But do you guys do things on each other?
Yeah, of course. Always getting better, always getting some new, because mentalists can do mind reading, mind prediction. You can predict something. You can do telekinesis, which is moving objects, okay? You can do hypnosis, and you can do mind influencing. So you can just do these 5 things. But the plot, the presentation, the story behind the effect, that's what separates you from other mentalists.
Got it. Okay, so you brought it up. How does it work? You're flipping sunglasses. Okay, I get it. You can manipulate people's thoughts. But how?
Telekinesis, it's another art. It's amazing. I started doing it.
This is something...
It's crazy. It's really crazy. I started doing it at the age of 11, working with Uri Geller. He was the first one, the first mentalist. He's the one that invented the spoon bending thing. He was first doing it. He's almost 80 now, I think. He lives in Israel, but it was big worldwide, especially in England. But he used to take spoons and just put them inside someone's head or your hand and just bend it in front of your sight.
This is energy?
This is 100% energy. So I sat with him, he defined me as his successor. We did a few shows overseas, and he just taught me that art of moving objects. So you saw me flip the glasses, moving some spoons, bending stuff, but I can also break a glass or do crazy things. So during my show, you will come to one of my shows and you'll see it. I'm doing crazy stuff, getting someone's let's say, bottle of a drink made of glass, and we'll just look at it and it will break to parts. Just
but
me
do you
looking
have to
at
think,
it.
okay, because
that takes a lot of energy.
Do you have to take a specific energy that triggers you,
yes,
anger?
Yes.
Or,
I can do it every day.
Yeah. So can I bring some glasses here? Can you put them for me? Because
Let's keep something.
Really
You'll be able to see it
interesting.
after that. Go to our social media, you'll see it over there.
It's amazing. I get everything that
What's
you're
your
saying.
favorite? What's your favorite kind of mentalism? So is it hypnosis? Is it moving objects or reading people's mind? It's very interesting.
I think two things. I think, okay, so for me, I've had a couple of instances where the glass has exploded or the glass has tipped over on somebody from across the room, and nobody
so you believe in energy, you know it's real.
I for sure believe in energy. I don't know how I did it. I do know that I was upset about something, so I don't know if it's that specific energy that does it, but the two times that it did happen, it happened in the same restaurant. So that was very weird. And I remember the waiters came up to me because I was holding the glass and it just exploded in my hand, and I was really upset about something with like my daughter's school. So it was something like that I was emotionally upset about, and I remember all the waiters came up to me and they were like, they like clean it up and they're like, can we get you a glass of wine? Are you okay? Because it just exploded. It was just
how
like,
long was it ago?
A year ago.
A year ago.
Yeah.
So imagine me feeling and like going through those same experiences at the age of 9, 10, starting to like understand how to control it.
As a child, yeah.
As a child, exactly. So
Yeah.
these kind of things, I've been through something similar, but I just learned how to master it, how to control it. So you know the feeling when you think about someone and it's just like calling you.
Yeah.
So
what's that? Because that happens all the time.
So that's 100% energy. You believe in manifesting, that you can manifest something for you. If you want to achieve something, if you'll think about it, you'll be able to manifest it.
So you're convincing somebody from afar.
I can tell you how I'm doing it, but basically it's energy. It's
amazing.
energy. It's controlling energy, moving energy from an object to you, or from you to the object, from you to someone else, just like controlling the energy.
What about every time when you look at the clock, it has synchronized numbers?
What do you think? What is your number?
What is my number?
That you see all the time.
11, 11, 11, 4, 4.
11, 11
4,
was your first choice, right?
2, yeah. Oh gosh, that's crazy. What?
Look.
11, 11.
My
See?
necklace, 11, 11.
That's crazy.
That's Angelo's time, and that's always when you're looking at the watch, it's like it's sync and it's 11, 11. And for me, there's something very interesting about 11. Donald Trump, 11 letters. Barack Obama, 11 letters. Even Harry Potter, 11 letters. I think Michael Jordan also. Nevo Abutbul, my name, 11 letters. So 11, it's a number that says something. A lot of people around the world with influence has 11 letters, and if not, 11 like is related to something about their, let's say, birth date or family name or something like that. I do think that there is something above. I believe in God. I'm Jewish. And I do think that's something that we cannot control. That's why I'm wearing it, to always remember that I know I'm good, I know I can read people's mind, I can manipulate people, but I'm not God, and there's someone that decides for you what's going to happen and when. And I'm happy that he placed me inside that like industry, and that I managed to understand my destiny at such a young age. But I think that that's 100% a sign that someone is with you, someone's supporting you, and you just like should continue what you're doing.
As a tool to communicate to people in a certain way, and that's very true. I think specific people are given the ability to grow this gift. Not everybody's going to understand that, but that's the way the world is. We're not supposed to all be able to do those things.
You can do it in different ways. I can get someone being amazed and feel good just by doing something for him and reading his, I don't know, the name of the number of his passcode. Another one can sing a song and make you feel like you've never felt before, so emotional. Someone can watch, I don't know, a podcast or a video that you're doing and say, wow, that's amazing, that's so interesting, I feel good after listening to that podcast. So each person should like understand what's his like perspective, what he wants to convey, what message he wants to convey, and how he can do it in a way that he will feel comfortable and confident about. and just do it. That's destiny. You making other people feel good.
Do you have like, do you feel like you were given an expectation that you are supposed to heal a certain part of the world? You have a job here, you were given a gift, and you are supposed to, you have a task to enforce. You have to do a certain thing. Do you feel that? Does that like ever...
I'm focusing only on performing, only on entertainment. I know some techniques, but I don't want to go into like healing or things like that. But mentoring is something that really interests me because of like, I managed to fulfill my dream when I was 12, and I'm from a simple family in the north of Israel, did residency in Dubai, Forbes 30 under 30, performing all over the world, and just because I really loved what I'm doing and I was so passionate about it. So I think that my task, my job is just to make other people and get them to fulfill their dream. It doesn't matter where they are from, what's their situation, who believes in you and who doesn't believe in you, or how old are you. It doesn't matter. Just if you have something, if you have a goal, see only your goals and don't believe in failures. I even have that tattoo, don't believe in failure. And always remember your purpose. So just focus on your purpose, work hard, and you'll be able to achieve it.
Yeah, you do. I think you do bring a lot of perspective. Every time you meet a group of people, they're like, wow, so I can do what he does. You know, it's like a kid meeting a firefighter and they're like, wow, I love what he does. But I think there's a certain group of people that are in the world that have this ability. And when you show your technique and you show this magic that you have inside of you, I'm not saying it's magic, but this ability, you wake up people without even realizing it. Whether it's one person from a crowd of people, and those people will start to understand their gift. And you might give people the drive to succeed in life, believe in yourself, but I think we're in a different place in the world today that we are going into spirituality. I think like we're in a place of darkness meets light, and people are really starting to understand that there's much more to the world than material things. It doesn't intrigue people anymore. I think what intrigues people is spirituality. And I think that your gift is so much more important today than ever before. And I think that this is something that people need to see, to say, okay, we are not just physical people. We are a spirit that drives the body. And you are showing people that our brains are so much more powerful than 100%. We realize.
What creates spirituality is our brain, because we see something, we believe in something, we imagining something, and then we can feel it. So the combination between all of this stuff, imagining something, seeing it, feeling it, and getting the emotion that you want from that, it's only on our brain. So if we'll be able to master our brain, to control and to use more of it, we'll be able to get into the point that it doesn't matter, you said it right, it's not the material, it's not stress, it's just to be in your comfort zone and to feel like you can control your life. If you can control your life, if you can control your brain, you can achieve anything that you want to achieve. You can get whatever you want to do because you'll have a plan, you won't have breakdowns, you'll be able to master it. You have an amazing family because you will be able to understand how to educate your children better, how to, let's say you have a disagreement with your wife or husband, how to come over it because you understand their perspective and how to convey your message in a way they will be able to understand. So just doing that and controlling your brain gets you to the point that if we'll be able to do it, I'm not 100%. You'll be unbeatable.
Do you believe in that, if you say it out loud, don't say things out loud because they can happen. Don't start off thinking negatively when you wake up in the morning. Say things out loud and 100%. That will change the whole dynamic of energy.
Even the vocabulary that you use, try to use good words with nice emotion. For example, we will succeed, we will do it. Not about, wait, what will it what can happen if we won't succeed. Always say that the word succeed, we can do it, we can make it. Not what are the disadvantages, what will happen, what happens if you'll fail. Don't use the word fail, never. Just use good words, nice words. Try to, of course, be aware of everything, make sure everything goes as planned, but try to use the right vocabulary that even gets you feeling better while you're doing whatever you do.
So do you ever get stressed out? You like start your day? Because I think I changed my whole perspective of my day when I realized that we have no control over anything that happens. So, okay, you can have a plan to go from point A to point B, but what happens in between is out of our control. So being late and whatnot, okay, so we're gonna be late, possibly we'll get in trouble, but you know what? It's out of our control. We did what we were supposed to do to try to make it to point B. Mm-hmm. But do you believe that we honestly have zero control over our day, besides what we plan?
I think that we do have control. I think that God is really putting us in the right place, and He's the one in charge about like what's going to happen between our plans, exactly as you said, from point A to point B. Then we cannot control it. But it always works out somehow, and I think that even something goes wrong, it goes wrong for a reason. So anything that happens in life, I can plan, I can do whatever I want, I can try, but if something will happen, I know that's not my fault, and it happens for a reason. So I know that He did it, I'm talking about God, He did it, He brought me to that because I can handle this situation, and He will help me getting out of it in the right way that will get me into a better point.
So I get it. You're like, the way your brain is working is so special, and I'm so happy that I had this conversation with you.
Thank you.
And you've answered a lot of questions that I have.
Yes.
I know that I was going like this direction, but I've had so many questions because I know that you think completely outside of the physical box. Yeah. And I think you're the best person to ask. And I'm so happy that I got to sit with you and have this conversation with you. I could probably sit with you for another 5 hours, but we won't. Thank you so much for this conversation.
Remember to keep good and positive thoughts, because you can never know who might be reading them.
Yeah, I know that.